They incarnated in this world in order to spread the teachings of Gaura Krishna after his departure from it. Sri Shyamananda made his appearance at Utkal. Utkal is where?
Orissa?
Yes, Utkal is Orissa. And it's very nice because Jagannath Puri, Navadvip Dham, and what was all of Bengal, because now what is present-day Bangladesh actually was Eastern Bengal before the partition. So all three of these places were so important in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and so many other places which surrounded, which are now, separated because of the partition of India, but were very important overall. Like Ekachakra, even the birthplace of Lord Nityananda, is in present-day Bangladesh. But all of that was Bengal at one time, and Orissa was also very important. Many Aryan Vaishnavas are so prominent in the Leela of Mahaprabhu, including Shyamananda Prabhu. He made his appearance at Utkal in the village of Darindra Bahadurpur. His father's name was Sri Krishna Mandal and his mother's name was Sri Durki. Sri Krishna Mandal, who descended in the line of Sadgops, had many sons and daughters who unfortunately passed away before the birth of this son. I thought it was all daughters at first, but maybe sons and daughters. For this reason, this son was named Duki. So what does Duki mean?
Sad or unfortunate.
Sad, unfortunate, unhappy, so many things. So why? Well, maybe it'll explain it. But why did the mother name this child Duki?
So he would be harmed. They thought, if we should leave him alone because he already is sad and unfortunate. Wasn't it somebody who was going?
Two reasons, yes. Actually, his mother was thinking that Yamaraj, who was the superintendent of death, he is responsible for administering who will go. So if she thought all of my previous children have gone under the supervision of Yamaraj, then perhaps Yamaraj, being a Mahajan himself, because he's also one of 12 Mahajans, he will take some sympathy on us if he realizes our plight. Perhaps to this point he's not realized how much we suffer each time he takes a child. So maybe when the child comes out of the womb, because it's very unusual to name your child misery or sadness. I don't think anybody in this world, when they have a child, Jai Shishi Gauranitai, Shinana Gaudhari, Jai Shishi Radha Govinda Deva Ki Jai, Jai Shri Giriraj Godhan Ki Jai. You don't think that any parent will think to name their child misery or suffering. People name their child joy. It's a popular name, but people don't name their child misery, suffering. But she appealed that if I name my son Duki, then perhaps Yamaraj will have compassion on us and leave us with this child. Everyone said that this child would be a very high-souled person. On the full moon day of the month of Chaitra, he has taken his birth in a very auspicious moment by the mercy of Sri Jagannath. His parents were great devotees of Lord Jagannath, actually, as mentioned elsewhere, like in Bhakti Ratnakar. It is as though Lord Jagannath has personally brought him there in order to propagate his teachings, and therefore he is personally maintaining him. He looks just like a new Cupid. One's eyes and mind should be soothed just by looking at him. This is, of course, the auspiciousness of the birth of any Mahapurush. Mahapurush means great exalted person. Because when pure devotees come in this world, they also display a Leela. And one of the features of their Leela is that when they come into the world, they manifest their eminence by their bodily beauty. So you can attest that almost every biography you read of great devotees, you'll read that when they were born, they had such beautiful bodily features. And they would attract so many people. And actually that beauty, because beauty, some people say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But beauty is an absolute principle. It is actually the main principle of the 6 opulences of God. Jiva Goswami wrote in Bhagavad Sandarbha, the 6 qualities of God are his knowledge, fame, strength, beauty, renunciation. What qualities, Mr. I got them all. Of those 6, fame. Of those 6, which one is the main pillar? Beauty. And therefore it's situated in the middle, and all of the others, they hang on to that. So Krishna's beauty is the main principle. So in pure devotees or in the eternal associates of Bhagavan, a natural beauty appears when they appear in the world, which is that aspect of their pure relationship with Krishna. That beauty shines through. So even before they can speak a word in their pastimes, their bodily beauty gives off attraction to them. As time passed, the purificatory rites, his first taking of grains, the hair-cutting ceremony, and all the rites for beginning his education were performed, one after another. This means very smoothly, because all the other children had passed away. Normally, whenever any priest comes to do these sanskars for the child, they first check to see if there's any auspicious, inauspicious elements. So it says, by saying these things happen one after another, indicated that the priest found no ill omens, inauspiciousness. Everything went very, very smoothly. The scholars were astounded to see his profound intellect, another feature of Mahapurush devotees or pure devotees. Always amazingly they manifest so much brilliance. What is that brilliance? If you know what is Krishna, if you know who you are, everything is automatically there. So even though throughout the course of their pastimes, it will unfold gradually, still the beauty of their features and the amazing features of their internal body, which is their intelligence, their minds, everything, it also becomes outstanding. You can see read every biography of Bhagavan's appearance or any devotee of Bhagavan. Within a short period, he completed his studies of grammar, poetry, and rhetoric. When he heard the glories of Shri Gaur Nityananda from the Vaishnavas of his village, a very deep attachment to their lotus feet developed in him. Why is that? As soon as he heard all of the Vaishnavas in his village, they're either doing kirtan or harikatha, immediately this amazing attraction comes in his heart. Why is that? Nothing esoteric. Just simple. Why is that? Because he's the eternal associate of the Lord. And also, any person who finds that they have immediate attraction to the Lord, you can directly confirm by Sastra, because in any previous life, some sukriti or some contact with bhakti was there. Some sukriti, some contact with bhakti was there. Therefore, one of the great features, which nobody can ever criticize about Srila Prabhupada's movement, in one sense, many things go on, this is neither here nor there, I don't get into these kind of criticisms, but one thing which is always outstanding is that the society as a whole made it possible that people in all kinds of places would have the opportunity to come in contact with some form of bhakti sukriti. And this is very, very important. On Sunday, Didi was talking about two things, about book distribution and about Harinam Sankirtan, and about how the importance of these things is still there, because even persons who don't immediately come to the Harinam party and say, yes, now after hearing Harinam, I'm going to get my luggage, I'm on my way back to the temple, I'll shave up tonight, and I'm ready to go. But it used to happen. I remember the Sunday feast in Los Angeles, there was one devotee named Urjaswat Prabhu, who's since passed away. But I would, on Sundays in Los Angeles, back in New York at that time, you could sit with any of the senior devotees to watch them preach. So I used to sometimes sit with him at the Sunday feast. And in spite of being absorbed in halva pakoras and all these things, I would listen to what he was saying. And he was so attractive and everything in his preaching that by the time he got finished preaching to a small group, guaranteed 2, if it was 5 people, were planning to come. So we would all get together, and the reason he kept a couple of bhaktas with him is because inevitably we were going to those people's houses to get their things. So he would stand on the staircase afterwards, and any last arguments they had, like, well, I didn't call in for work or anything. Death could come tonight. Do you need to call in? He would, and he's like, he has a little southern drawl, a Texas drawl in his speaking, and he's kind of a little large and imposing. So by the time he got through, inevitably we get the temple van, and you're going to pick up people's luggage. So this was proof positive just by coming to Sunday program, taking prasadam, hearing. And I remember Harinam parties in Los Angeles. I know, Didi, you were there. It was 400 people. And sometimes the parties would be so big, you had to split the parties into 2. So one party would go to one area, another party would go to another area, and then they would meet by that, I don't know that Chinese restaurant name, but the big famous one. Sometimes they come together, both parties, and you could hear the other party coming. Then it would get louder and more enthusiastic. Then they would come together. And you can imagine 300-400, very few devotees stayed back. And they would distribute popcorn, and the kirtans were amazing. Balad Raj, so many devotees, Gopavrinda, so many devotees, Agni Dev, you know. So, I mean, you can just imagine. Even in New York, I also remember a similar thing. Mm-hmm. So, getting Sukriti is so important because it directly leads a person to have lost. Nothing is ever lost. Sri Krishnamanda was himself a very advanced devotee. We mentioned that earlier. Seeing that his son was always absorbed in thinking of Gaura, replied, Shri Hridoy of Shamananda Pandit, the impression of the eternality of his connection with Guru was already there. It came out of his mouth naturally when his father insisted he should get initiated. Oh yes, Hridoy Chaitanya is my Guru. You understand? So here another point is proven. That Guru, and Srila Gurudev mentioned this, the actual saying that he is my Lord and Master birth after birth, which is the English translation of what we used to sing every day in the Sri Guru Charana prayer, is absolutely true. The connection with Guru, just like connection with Sri Radha Krishna, is eternal. It's not something that comes, the next life you get a different Guru. Then Gurudev actually said, no. Gurudev will find some way to come. Now there are many ways in which Guru can come. The function of Vyasti Guru means the individual aspect of Guru. It's a manifestation of how Baladev as a whole, as Akhanda Guru Tattva, means the entire principle of attracting people to God. Because one part of Baladev is called Sankarshan. What does Sankarshan mean?
Attract.
Yes, that which attracts, but especially Sankarshan, one etymological meaning of it is that which attracts everything. So that principle in Guru, which attracts one to Krishna, that principle is manifest in so many different ways and functions. It consolidates into a very thick form in the form of one's individual Guru, called Vyasti Guru. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote in poetry, just like the rain cloud, which the sun evaporates water from the ocean and forms a dense cloud. So he gave this very poetic description. So Guru, being one's eternal connection, may manifest in so many different ways eternally for that disciple to help him. So Shamananda Pandit, as soon as he heard from his father about initiation, immediately the eternal impression of his own Gurudev came into his heart. He is in Ambika Kalan. His Guru is Gauridas Pandit. The two brothers, Gaur and Nityananda, are eternally present in his house. If you give your permission, I will proceed there to become his disciple. So there's a very long history given in Bhakti Ratnakar, which is a very wonderful book. If anyone has not read it, certainly it should be read, that gives individual histories of all of these Vaishnavas. And there's a very amazing phenomenon here that though Shamananda Prabhu realizes the eternality of his connection with Hridoy Chaitanya, they are completely in different moods in relation to how they serve Krishna. So this is a very interesting point. I won't go into a long discussion about it, but essentially what relationship did Hridoy Chaitanya have with Krishna? And his Gurudev, Gauridas Pandit, was? Yeah, so he's coward boy, directly associate of the Lord. Interesting history. Where was Hridoy Chaitanya before he came to Gauridas Pandit? Who raised Hridoy Chaitanya? His previous name was Hridoy Nanda. He was raised by Gadadhar Pandit. And Gauridas Pandit came, just he had a vision, and he went to the house of Gadadhar Pandit and told, you should give me this boy. And Gadadhar Pandit, with no problem, gave Hridayananda at that time to Gauridas Pandit, who raised him and became his disciple, Hridoy Chaitanya. Many beautiful pastimes or stories are told about Hridoy Chaitanya and Gauridas Pandit. Very beautiful. What kind of guru-disciple relationship they had. How much, if any disciple follows his master sincerely, then the master's desires appear in the heart of a disciple, a sincere disciple, and a sincere disciple can execute the wishes of the guru even when the guru himself is not fully conscious of that desire. I'm giving the story that Gauridas Pandit every year used to put on an amazing festival for Gaur-Nitai. He had deities like we have deities here on our altars. He had a deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. That deity that he had, were they deities or were they Gaur-Nitai?
Gaur-Nitai.
They were Gaur-Nitai directly. There's one whole pastime that once Gaur-Nitai were at the house of Gauridas Pandit. And Gauridas Pandit, when the Lord got ready to leave, begged the Lord, no, you should not leave. His devotion was so strong, the Lord manifested personally the deities of himself and Nityananda Prabhu for Gauridas Pandit to have. Gauridas Pandit put the deities on his altar. Then as he saw the Lord leave, wait. No, you should come back. You should stay. So then the Lord said, okay, we will stay. So then the Lord went on the altar and the deities began to move. And they said, no, wait. You should come back. And then back and forth it went like this until it happened so many times Gauridas Pandit could not discern between the deity and the original forms of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, which is one tattva is being taught. Is there any real difference between the deity and the Lord himself? He wanted to teach this point. For us, we have to realize it. Over the course of practice, we come to realize there's no difference between Krishna's name and Krishna's form. No difference between Krishna's paraphernalia and Krishna. No difference between Krishna's deity form and Krishna himself. So Gauridas Pandit, being a pure devotee, was fully realized in this, and therefore the deities are actually going to tie themselves. Did he?
Krishna Prasadam.
And certainly we realize that much faster. Everybody realizes that. And therefore people become, as myself, you become very realized. And your ecstasy becomes very visible in the body quickly, as far as Mahaprasadam is concerned. Other aspects of Krishna consciousness more subtle, more esoteric. Anyway, so these deities a festival was put on every year for these deities, amazingly, by Gauridas Pandit. But once he had to travel just prior to that festival. While traveling, his faithful disciple, Hridoy Chaitanya, noticed that the time for the festival was approaching. So as he thought more and more, what can I do? I don't want to let the day come. My Gurudev will put on this festival every year, but now this year it won't happen. So he began to make the appropriate preparations. The day came closer and closer and closer. He sent out the invitations. He arranged for all the boga to be cooked, everything, for all the worship paraphernalia to be arranged, everything. So immediately, when his spiritual master then returned and saw that everything was, he said, hey, what are you doing? Without my order, you've done all these things? But did actually Gauridas Pandit give the order? Or not? He gave the order or not? By mouth he's saying, you've done and I have not given you the order, but had he given him the order or not? By heart, yes. By heart, he certainly gave him the order. The proof of this will come in the pastime itself. So when Gauridas Pandit came back and seen all arrangements had been made, and in fact there was a huge festival going on, wonderful kirtan going on, he went with one stick. He saw his Gaur-Nitai not on the altar. He went to the place where they were holding the festival and looking, what is going on here? And immediately he saw his Gaur-Nitai, because Hridoy Chaitanya, also so powerful devotee, so many powerful Vaishnavas there, the Lord himself was there in the kirtan along with Nityananda. So this time Gauridas Pandit, because they have so much love for the Lord, that he feels the Lord, this is like my property. And even I will chastise the Lord. So he sought out Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give them chastisement. When Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda saw Gauridas Pandit with one stick, they began to run and thinking where to take shelter, where to take shelter. And where did they eventually take shelter? In the heart of Lord. Therefore he's Hridoy Chaitanya. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually entered his heart and took shelter there. At that time, Gauridas Pandit in Leela showed what is the glory of a real disciple. And how a real disciple knows in his heart what is the order of his guru. And he embraced him. So this Hridoy Chaitanya, he was the guru of Shyamananda Prabhu. But Shyamananda Prabhu did not have the same actual mood as Hridoy Chaitanya. his worship was of the mood of a cowherd boy. So he made arrangements, as we're going to read on here, for Shamananda, who was called Duki at that time, to go to Vrindavan and take shelter of Jiva Goswami. So sometimes we hear so many problems regarding the guru having a disciple and that disciple going to someone else. But why is it not really a problem for somebody who has a real understanding of what it means to be guru? Real guru, first of all, has no abhiman. Akhanda Guru Tattva. Abhiman means the conception, I am guru. Real guru doesn't think, I am guru. Real guru is guru by self-effulgence. When the sun comes out in the morning, nothing precedes the sun with a sign saying the sun is coming up, the sun is coming up. Right? As soon as you see the dawn and you see the sun rays coming over the eastern horizon, it's self-evident. There's no need for proclamation. There's no need, even the FEMA, I have FEMA warnings on my phone. When we were traveling and preaching this last time, which is why I did not get to Austin, one funny thing happened. I somehow miscalculated the hours from Tucson, Arizona to San Antonio. Somehow I had 8 hours and 9 hours. It's not 8 hours and 9 hours. So we left late. By the time we got to San Antonio, it was like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. But that's not going to be a problem because in our planning for the trip, we used our timeshare that we have in different places. The timeshare that we had in San Antonio was they were fully booked up. So they told myself and my good wife who was traveling with me, unfortunately, we have no one-bedroom studios available for you. We only have the 2-bedroom deluxe penthouse units available. So we said we'll suffer through it. We'll tolerate it. I mean, it's really tough, but we'll deal with it. So we drove, after miscalculating, getting there at 1 o'clock in the morning, having our navigation system set to the address of the hotel. We came, and as we came into San Antonio, we saw the big and beautiful sign that said Wyndham. So as I got ready to turn left to go to that building, the navigation said, go 1 more block and make a right. So then I said, well, no, maybe that's just how you get in the back entrance. So we drove, got in through, turned around, and got ready to come back. And said, no, go 1 block and make a right. So we did the same process again and tried to head towards that building. By the 3rd time, we realized, well, maybe that's not the building. So as we drove down, we came across a building in an alley. In the alley, there was a doorway which was about the size of our temple room door entrance. As we went in, we realized we had been had. I'm making a long story short. I'm not going into this. This is a much too auspicious day to get into these details. At the same time, one of the major storms of the year had hit San Antonio, and the city was flooding. Long story short again, we get to our room. This is a hotel which was built in 1928. You cannot push the cart down the hallway and people walk at the same time. The hallway was like that. We got into the place. The 2-bedroom deluxe was essentially a musty downstairs flat with a musty set of stairs to an upstairs thing, which my wife screamed. I run upstairs because she says there's a coffin on the outside. And I'm saying, no, that's not possible. Nobody would do that. I go upstairs. It's a hot tub that hasn't been used probably since 1928. So it looks like a coffin, especially in the rain. So now we said, okay, we're here. This is it. We're going to Austin tomorrow for a program. Only 35 miles, or no, 80 miles, I think, or something like that. Go downstairs to go to sleep. In the middle of the night, we hear. So then I wake up and look over. There's water coming through the ceiling where we're sleeping. At the same time, back to my phone, the FEMA alarm on the phone goes off. With so now we're like completely bewildered. We look outside and all of the city is flooding, literally. Downtown San Antonio, and we're staying on the riverfront, that thing. So everything is flooding, and so we're like, we can't get out. The water's coming through. Is the building going to fall down? So all of these types of anxiety. So what was the original point? See, I got lost in this crazy story. What were we talking about? Oh! Huh? Right. No, back to Dukhi Krishna. That, huh?
The sun doesn't come out and say.
Yes, it doesn't come out and proclaim. So Guru has no abhiman. How we got there, I don't know. But anyway.
Guru has no abhiman. Why he's telling not to go to other gurus?
Because he's not real Guru. I was going to sing this bhajan. This was the original point we were trying to make. Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Rai Abhiman Sunya Nitai Nagare Vedai. What is the meaning of Abhiman Sunya? Abhiman Sunya means that Nityananda, who's Akhanda Guru Tattva, has no self-conception. This is what the word Abhiman means. It means no self-conception that I am Guru. Real Guru doesn't have this conception. Why? Because what did Nityananda think of himself? I am the servant of only.
Kind of about that, I remember somebody telling me, like, back when the movement kind of started in America, that, like, there were, like, a lot of movements going on and stuff, but there were no, like, the Maharishis and this and that and the other. But when people would say, like, what is this? They wouldn't say, like, the Prabhupadas. They would say, like, the Hare Krishnas.
Yes.
Nobody really even knew who he was unless...
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Actually, I heard one story. I'm sure Didi can confirm it. I think in the very beginning, devotees, when they would use because I think at 26 2nd Avenue, there was only maybe one for women, one for men. I can't even remember. But there was one bathroom. And Srila Prabhupada used to use that same bathroom for showering. Am I correct?
26 2nd Avenue?
Yes.
There was one bathroom upstairs in Prabhupada's quarters.
Yeah.
And downstairs there was only a toilet.
Oh, so I heard this story that from Brahmananda actually, that sometimes the men would use that upstairs shower place, and that when they would go in the morning, you wake up in the morning, everybody has to go to the bathroom, so they would kind of line up, and that when Srila Prabhupada would come, they would talk to Srila Prabhupada, but nobody would get out of line and let him go in the front. You understand? And neither would Srila Prabhupada give like, hey, you know, I'm Guru, you should immediately let me go to the front. So I heard this from Brahmananda in Africa, you know, when I was preaching in Africa. So the conception that Guru really has no abhiman literally means that. But then the question could come, well then why does Guru Dev say, oh, you're a nonsense, oh, you should do this, you shouldn't do that? Why does he act so authoritative? Not from his own mood. He's acting from the mood of representing Nityananda Prabhu. And when the disciple matures, he develops an intimate friendship with Guru. At that time, it's called Vishrambena Guru Seva. At that time, he sees another aspect of Guru. This is not our conversation for tonight. But Guru never has the mood, the disciple is my property.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Wouldn't any guru stating that they're a property of somebody, that would be kind of a form of showing ego, which is far
Absolutely.
beyond what a guru is supposed to exhibit to, because you're saying to be beyond yourself and beyond the ego.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Now, a mother, she has some sense of her child as a property. But what is the sense of property or ownership? It's love. It's purely love. She doesn't feel like this is my property from the position of ego and exploitation. She feels this is my property as love. So Guru shows a sense of ownership of disciples only in love. And this will prove itself out for the welfare of that disciple. For instance, we're going to read now that Hridoy Chaitanya felt comfortable enough, which was our original point. He felt comfortable enough, having no Guru Abhiman or ego, as you rightly said, that he could ask his disciple, who had a different aspiration in bhakti than his, to someone who could fulfill his disciple's aspiration, not fearing, well, if he goes there, I'll be bereft of this very powerful, because he'd already witnessed the power of that disciple, where the Lord himself directly entered his heart. He'd witnessed, how famous could Hridoy Chaitanya be in Ambika Kalan? This was the village they lived. How powerful would their temple be? How wealthy would it be? All the villagers coming to see this great Mahapurush. But no, he thought, for the welfare of my disciple and his aspiration, he should go to Jiva Goswami, who's fully competent and being in the same mood to help him unfold in his aspiration in bhakti. No sense of ownership.
Thank you.
Ridhva Chaitanya was very pleased by this sweet speech, and he told he meets Ridhva Chaitanya now. He says, Shri Ridhva Chaitanya is very pleased by the sweet speech. He told the boy, from now on, your name is Krishna Das. His name formerly was Duki. And now, having come to Guru, he's become Krishna Das. So, axiomatic means automatically, with finding the shelter of Guru, any duk means sorrow, unhappiness you had, it immediately goes away because the Guru reminds you that you are Krishna Das. As soon as you accept the Guru's instruction that you're Krishna Das, whatever problems you had in this world are gone. The only problems that can arise is when you forget that you're Krishna Das. Anytime you're Krishna Das, servant of God, and you remind yourself and keep the shelter of Guru, who was the consistent reminder of that, you find no problems. As soon as you give that up, leave that shelter, immediately many problems. Just recently we had Ram Navami, and we told the story of how Lakshman, when he went on the order of Sita to aid Ram, I'm not telling the whole story, he drew one circle and asked Sita to stay in that circle. This circle was the circle of protection. It's called a Rakshaleka. It is a circle of protection. And Lakshman is also Akhanda Guru Tattva, or the absolute principle of Guru. So by this instruction, Gurudev told the story once, because Sita left that circle of protection of Guru, easily Ravan could snatch her. Of course, he didn't snatch the real Sita, but for a lesson to us, the Guru gives us so many instructions. If we'll stay in the comfort zone of those instructions, we're always protected. As soon as we venture out, either by mental speculation, by physical deviation, or any other way, we give up that protection.
What would you suggest for certain mental speculation, even if
there's never any time when we're devoid of that? If I some mathematical calculation I can't figure out, and you have a smartphone, what does everybody do? Grab the phone, grab the calculator, boom, and everything is invested there. So similarly in Guru, everything is invested. In sadhus who are equal to Guru, everything is vested. In sastras, everything is vested, but you may not be able to understand everything perfectly from sastra. So especially Guru and sadhu are very important.
Yeah, that was my thing, because sometimes especially I was thinking of taking Diksha this year, but Guru wouldn't be in America. He would be traveling and stuff, and I can't always be with, you know what I mean? Yeah. So and it's not a lot. It's just sometimes when that back of your head starts, and even if you do go to a program or a reader,
Gurus are very powerful. Guru is not dependent on his physical proximity to a disciple, real Guru. So the disciple's biggest worry is staying in that circle of protection of the Guru, which he gives at the time that he accepts you as a disciple. He gives you that. That circle of protection is around everything in existence. In the case of Ramayan, he drew a small circle around the place where Sita was staying. But in reality, Guru draws a circle around the entire existence for the disciple. If he stays in that circle of the Guru's teachings and conceptions and instructions, never face any problem. Now, because our nature is like that, sometimes we may want to venture outside. As wide as that circle is, we may want to venture outside of it. For this reason, we keep the association of God brothers and God sisters and friends who remind us, let's stay inside. Let's stay inside. And they provide activity inside the circle that keeps us attracted, because our biggest deviation is attraction to things outside the circle. Especially if you're in family life. This is the key thing of family life. Family life is most successful if husband and wife work together to keep each other in the circle. If they work in opposition to that circle, they're actually mutual enemies. You understand? They're actually, is mutual enemies the right word? They're enemies. You understand?
You could be equal enemies.
Equal enemies, mutual enemies, whatever the language would be, they become like enemies. But we should be careful. We shouldn't think, oh, he asked me to go to movies. The devil. You understand? Don't you get carried away. Just try to keep each other in the circle. You understand? No, let's watch this beautiful, like there's Vrindavan Parikram online. So let's go to YouTube. Let's watch it together. I'll make the popcorn. Whatever. And over the course of time, you'll find that two people can work mutually together, and husband and wife really become each other's first reminders about Gurudev's circle of instruction. You understand? So everybody's married. You're married to association with close friends who remind you, or you're married literally to a partner. You understand? Like this.
I'm just wondering about logistics here.
Yeah, time
I
is...
haven't even come to the part with Shamananda and Jiva Goswami.
Nothing yet. Yeah, I'm just going to read here.
And then we have 3 more.
To go. Yeah. I'm just going to read Vamsivadan. I don't know so much about Vamsivadan anyway. But then Baladev Rasiyatra and everything. And maybe we can go around and that'll make that faster. Let's go around rather than just trying to speak it. I get carried away with these things. Sri Krishna Das began his service with great devotion, and on the auspicious day, his guru initiated him into the divine mantra. Shri Hridoy Chaitanya could see that the new disciple was extremely intelligent, at the same time very devoted. So he ordered him to go to Vrindavan. So in other words, he saw he's very devoted to a particular mood as well. To study the literatures of the Goswamis under the tutelage of Jiva Goswami. Shri Krishna bowed his head in assent, and on an auspicious day he set out for the holy Dham. At the time of his departure, his guru gave him many instructions and conveyed through his disciples his obeisances to the lotus feet of the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Duki Krishna first came to Navadvip Dham. Very important thing. How do we enter Vrindavan? Through Navadvip Dham. Even symbolically, very nice. After inquiring from someone as to the whereabouts of Sri Jagannath Mistra's Bhavan, everything long story short, Bhakti Ratnakar tells, he had darshan of Sri Navadvip Dham in going to Braj. The next day he set out for Mathura with a party of pilgrims. Upon coming to Gaya Dham, he took darshan of the lotus feet of Sri Vishnu there, the place where Mahaprabhu had gone. From Gaya he came to Kasi, then finally he arrived in Mathura Dham, and taking bath at Vishram Ghat. How we do parikram, first place we go to do Sankalp is Vishram Ghat. Coming to, let me see. This guy, he took darshan of Adi Keshava. He rolled in the ground of the dust of the birthplace of Sri Krishna. From there he proceeded to Vrindavan proper, where, after learning the whereabouts of Jiva Goswami, he offered his obeisances to the lotus feet of that great Acharya, and being asked to introduce himself with all particulars, he began to speak. My Gurudeva has committed me to your charge. His petition to your divine grace is, I am entrusting Duki Krishna Das to your care. Please fulfill his mind's desire and send him back to me after some time. Srila Jiva Goswami was extremely happy to receive Duki Krishna, or Krishna Das, into his care. Krishna has very carefully served Jiva Goswami. Long story short, in Bhakti Ratnakar explains how both Srinivas and Narottam Das were already there in Vrindavan, and how they had actual auspicious signs come in their body because they were waiting for Shamananda to come. They knew he was coming, and they were having all these symptoms come in their body because he was coming. Then finally it talks about their meeting and everything very wonderfully. So as Didi said, in the interest of time, let's move ahead a little bit. This is telling the story of the contact that he had with Srimati Radhika. He was given a service by Jiva Goswami to sweep Nirubam every day. Jiva sweep the forest at Seva Kunj every day. From that day, he began to carry out this service with great pleasure. He felt that his life had become successful. As he swept, tears flowed from his eyes. Sometimes he would loudly chant the names of Shishi Radha Govinda Dev, and sometimes he would become inert while remembering their pastimes. Sometimes he would put the broom, which was full of dust, on his head. Even Lord Brahma and Shiva prayed to receive a little of the dust of Vrindavan on their heads. Really beautiful description. The Lord of Vrindavan and his consort were very pleased with this service of Krishna Das. What major service did he do? He didn't build a Maha temple. He didn't collect millions of dollars. He was sweeping Seva Kunj with a broom. This was the service that Krishna became so pleased and Radhika became so pleased that they desired to grant him darshan. One day while Krishna Das was cleaning the Kunj, his heart filled with love. Just then, he happened to notice a very beautiful ankle bracelet lying in the dust. He picked it up and touched it to his head, and then bound it in the corner of his upper cloth. I will give it to whomever it belongs to when they come to look for it. Of course, Gurudev was told the story. He actually told Jiva Goswami about it. Jiva Goswami said it, don't give it to anybody but the owner. The next morning, the Sakis of Radhika came. They were quite shocked. They noticed that Srimati Radharani's ankle bracelet was missing. Radharani explained, last night when I was dancing in the Kunj, it must have fallen off. Please look for it and bring it back to me, whoever finds it. When the gopis came to search for the bracelet, Vishaka noticed Krishna Das sweeping. This is what temple cleaning seva can get you, if you do it sincerely. One day, you'll be in here just cleaning up the temple room, and Radhika will come upstairs in the kitchen. Did you see my bracelet? Well, actually, she'll send Duki Krishnadas was mesmerized by the sweetness of her words, the radiant forms. They all look like demigoddesses descended from heaven. He simply stared in a dumbfounded and asked again. They asked him again, have you found a bracelet here? Duki Krishna made his obeisance humbly replied, yes, I found it. Who are you? One answered simply, I am a cowherd boy. Where do you stay? In this village. Is it your ankle bracelet? No. It's not. Boy? Huh? No, are you a cow? No, first he asked. She said, I'm a cowherd girl. He asked, who are you?
Cowherd
girl. Yes. Then he said, what village you stay? He said, this village here. Then, is the ankle bracelet yours? No, it isn't mine. It belongs to my friend. Well, how did it get here? She came in yesterday to pick flowers and must have fallen off then. All right, then please tell her she can come and collect it from me. No, you can just give it to me. He's talking directly to Lalita. No, I personally want to give it to her. Of course, Gurudev tells the story that Lalita chastised, well, what kind of brahmachari are you? As Daniel here is sweeping. Any male person can't ask the particulars. Even to have conversation with us, and we're in a small group, this is a little shaky. But now, oh Baba, you're asking you directly want to see that girl, everything? What is this? So long story short, completely in ecstatic mood, it says that Krishna Das had forgotten himself everything. And of course, Srimati Radhika shows him, sort of paraphrasing through the story now. Srimati Radhika eventually showed her mercy to Krishna Das, and she took the ankle bell back from him that he gave her, and what did she do with it?
Touched it to his forehead.
She touched it to his forehead, and there gave a beautiful mark of a unique form of tilak. Which the followers of Shyamananda Prabhu, to this day, they have that form of tilak. Anything else about this?
I just wondering, he put it on her ankle?
Yes, he requested to put it on.
She picked it up from her ankle?
I've heard two stories. Once, Gurudev said that Shyamananda came, he was dumbfounded, and she was asking for the bracelet back, and he could only stand with his mouth. And then Radhika took the bracelet from his hand and placed it on his head. Then gave it, told him, you can place on my ankle.
Oh.
He told him at Graya's house one time, this story.
Don't they blindfold them though?
Yeah.
I heard that also. Oh, yes. That you cannot touch her, so they blindfold. Maybe it's written here, I skipped through part. Anyways, then now it goes on to the next part. Noticing the special marking, Jiva Goswami told him to keep it secret. But the word through Vaishnavas got back to Hridoy Chaitanya. Oh, your disciples walking around here in Vrindavan, he has some new tilak on, he's acting a little strange. So immediately, arriving some months later, he let it be known that he wished to see the erstwhile means deviated Duki Krishna Das. Shyamananda came and offered his prostrated obeisances, now his guru has come to Vrindavan, to the lotus feet. Seeing his disciples tilak, Hridoy Chaitanya Prabhu was enraged and exclaimed, your conduct towards me is completely abominable. Why? Because according to his look, he had deviated from the instructions of his Gurudev. Because what kind of tilak do devotees wear? It's called Urdhva Pundra, but 2 vertical lines and 1 tulsi leaf placed here. There's no other kinds of designs. You can't go and start drawing pictures and Harley Davidsons and so forth and all. It's not the thing. So his guru properly came to chastise him. After his Gurudev chastised him, who came to his aid? That night, Sri Hridoy Chaitanya Prabhu had a dream in which Sri Radha herself came. When Sri Radha appeared to him in a very severe mood, she rebuked him and chastised him and told that she had given this mark to Shamananda Prabhu. The next morning he called for Shamananda Prabhu, and then the Guru took him on his lap and embraced him. And Shamananda told him to remain with Jiva Goswami for many more days before he returned to Ambika Kalan. So then it goes on. I'm going to paraphrase because Didi said I got carried away going a long time. But eventually...
We can go on till 9 o'clock and then there's no problem.
I'll try to wrap it up. Anyways, now in the company of Srinivasacharya and Narottam Das Thakur, they all study with Jiva Goswami. This is very important because what happened was that while Raghunath Das Goswami remained with Mahaprabhu for 18 years altogether, 16 while Mahaprabhu was there, and another 2 years before Swarup Damodar left this world, he compiled all of the information about Mahaprabhu's activities. When he came to Vrindavan, staying at Radhakund, he then described everything to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who compiled Chaitanya Charitamrita. At the same time, the Goswamis of Vrindavan, who had been ordered to go there by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, had been compiling so much literature. But the devotees of Bengal were very anxious to see it. And of course, there was no Facebook, internet, anything like that. So everything was written by hand. So now all of these devotees in Bengal were anxiously awaiting to see the writings of the Goswamis. So now, after much instruction, Srinivasacharya, first under the order of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, from Lokanath Goswami, they all found some way, form, or fashion to stay with Jiva, and then Jiva Goswami, after completing everything, gave his blessings. They could take the books to Bengal. Of course, on the way to Bengal, one Maharaj Birambir, in his kingdom, he heard from his counselor there was a great treasure coming. He steals the books. Then Srinivasacharya gives the instructions to both Narottam and to Shamananda to go on back to their respective places to continue preaching. And he himself goes back to the kingdom of Birambir Maharaj, where he converts the entire kingdom, including the king, to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Many pastimes take place with Shamananda Prabhu back in Orissa. Very unique style of kirtan is developed there. Not only that, but he preaches in, what is that place? Assam and Manipur. And it's in Manipur that very unique style of kirtan that Shamananda Prabhu did survived to this day. And Al Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj used to travel with a troupe. I was in Vrindavan one year, and they put on a special performance there of this Manipuri style kirtan that was originated there by Narottam Das Thakur. Of course, Narottam Das, Srinivas, and Shamananda all were together at the big festival of Keturi, which was not just a festival. It was actually the largest and probably most prominent Ishtagosti for establishing Vaishnav teachings and everything else. So, all that, then of course he goes back to his original place in Utkal, preaches for many years before leaving this world.
Did you say the Manipuri style kirtan started from Shamananda?
Was it Narottam? Narottam Das.
You said both.
Oh. I think it was was it Narottam Das that started that? Narottam Das Thakur started.
Shamananda went there.
He went to preach there. He did go to Assam and to that place to preach, it mentions. But the kirtan style was actually started by Narottam, which is surprising because the style that was introduced, this Manohar style kirtan was introduced at Keturi, is different. But they adopted this style of kirtan as the standard for Gaudiya kirtan, and they had the stamp of Janavama. The way we do, even the crumb of doing Guru, Vaishnav, Gauranga, that was established at Keturi. Did you want to say something, Vamsidas Vadin?
No, I'm just listening.
Anybody?
You can read.
All right, hold on a second.
It's a beautiful moon out there.
It is.
It's huge.
Why is it a beautiful moon?
Rasa Purnimi.
So, very quickly. Shri Vamsi Das Vamsivadan Thakur appeared on the full moon in the month of Chaitra within Kulia, in which exists the villages Teghari. The sons of Shrikar Chopadi moved from Bilvogram to another section. Shri Yudhishthira Chopadai and his three sons Madhavadas, Shri Haridas, and Shri Krishna Sampati. When Mahaprabhu came from Puri to have darshan of his mother and the river Ganges, he stayed for 7 days in the house of Madhavadas at Kulia. At this time, he excused Devananda Pandit along with all the offenses of everyone else. Therefore, this place came to be known as Aparad Bhanjan Pat. Sri Vamsi Thakur appeared in the house of Sri Madhavadas. So this describes the place where he was born. His mother's name was Sri Chandrakala Devi. Vamsivadan is the incarnation of Krishna's flute. On the day of his birth, many pastimes in Mahaprabhu's Leela of the flute. In the pastime of the breaking of the danda of Mahaprabhu, is described that flute had descended along with Ram's bow and arrow and the danda of Mahaprabhu. So when Nityananda Prabhu broke those three, he told, we've all come here to preach. We've not come here now. In all the other incarnations, the Lord carried you. Now you will render service only by preaching. So he took them all and threw them in the river. Of course, there's many stories told like that, but in Chaitanya Charitamrita, this story is told.
The flute was in a danda. What were you saying?
It's mentioned that the flute has so many incarnations. One incarnation is kartals and mridanga in the house of Srivas. Another in the pastime of when Nityananda broke the danda of Mahaprabhu. In Chaitanya Charita Murari Gupta is mentioned that he told many things. One, why should my Lord have to carry you?
Right.
And then he told, in previous incarnations he also carried you everywhere. When he came as Lord Ramchandra, you were there as the bow and arrow. And when he came as Krishna, he was carrying you always as his flute. And now he's come as Mahaprabhu. Again, you showed up as this danda. All of us have also come here, but we're all involved in preaching. You should do the same. This is told by Gaur Govinda Maharaj. That is, he has one ashram near that place. Yeah. You've been there?
Yeah,
Beautiful place. So his disciple told this katha that Gaur Govinda Maharaj told. So he broke it and he threw it in the river at that place. So find your way and all go preaching. Both the bow and arrow, the flute, and the danda, all of you go preaching on behalf of Mahaprabhu. Vamsi was engaged in the service of Vishnu Priya and was a recipient of her unlimited mercy. One time Vishnu Priya Devi and Vamsi Thakur decided to give up taking food and water and not being any point in maintaining their bodies, which was so racked with pain of separation from Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, did not approve of this and manifested himself before them and requested them not to behave so rashly, and instructed them both to worship his deity form. In fact, the first deity of Mahaprabhu was given to whom? Vishnu Priya. When he was leaving, take sannyas. After Vishnu Priya's disappearance, Vamsivadan brought this deity of Mahaprabhu from Mayapur to Kulia. The deity of Mahaprabhu was very beautiful and is still being worshipped with great pomp in the present town of Navadvip. The name of the temple and deity is Dameshwara. It is said that the name Vamsivadan is carved into the underneath of the base of the deity. When his descendants, Ramachandra Goswami, came to live at Bangapada by the mercy of Janavamata, the worship of the deity passed into the hands of the residents of Malancha. There was a deity of Gopinath in Kulia, worshipped by Vamsi's ancestors, and he personally installed a deity of Pranavallabha at their home in Kulia. Where the deities are at present is unknown. Vamsi Thakur resided in Bivalgram for some time with his relatives there. He had two sons, Sri Chaitanya Das and Nityananda Das. The two sons of Chaitanya Das were Ramachandra and Sri Sachidananda. Ramachandra was the adopted son and disciple of Janavamata. This is where you start to see connections that eventually would become the, quote, traditional pariwars. They trace out these lines here. Sri Vamsivadan was a poet and composer of songs. He composed one song of the Lord's acceptance of sannyas based on the lamentations of Sri Sachimata and Vishnu Priya. Some say that Ramachandra Goswami, the son of Chaitanya Das, Vamsi Thakur's son, was an incarnation of Vamsi Thakur. So very short, brief biography given by Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So, Vamsi Vardhan Thakur ki jai. So, today is also Shri Baladev Ras Yatra. So, did he, of course, something?
No.
Anybody? So, also a very, very important day. So, first thing is to understand something of Shri Baladev Tattva. Shri Baladev Tattva is the Vaibhav Prakash of Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna. What is the meaning of the word Vaibhav Prakash? Vaibhav means that there's a slight difference in their mood. Other than that, he's the direct. Prakash means direct manifestation. Prakash really means like a manifestation or illumination of something. So Vaibhav Prakash means he's directly Krishna, only a slightly different mood. And because his mood is slightly different, and every mood has its own color, his color is slightly different. So the color of Krishna is Sham, color of Baladev is whitish color. So this is the only difference. Baladev is also the predominating deity of what is called Sandini Shakti. Sandini Shakti means the substance of the spiritual world. The substance of the spiritual world is actually a manifestation of Baladev himself. Why is that important? Because can anyone see emotions?
No.
You cannot see them. How can you tell if somebody's happy or sad? Only when you see it manifest on their form, right? If someone's very unhappy and they have the face, you can tell. So, Srimati Radhika is called the predominating deity of Ladini. Ladini means bliss, happiness, pleasure, or the emotion of Krishna. In order to understand how Radha or Krishna feels, there must be some way for their feelings to be manifest so that spiritually and even when it descends to this world and by mercy gives us a glimpse of it, it can be revealed. The power to do that is called Baladev. One meaning of the word Balaram is, Bala means Shakti. Who is Krishna's original Shakti? Srimati Radhika. Radhika invests the power in Baladev to give Krishna pleasure. Ramate iti Rama means to give pleasure. So Balaram really means that person who's empowered by Krishna's original Shakti to give Krishna pleasure. How does he give Krishna pleasure? Two things. He is called Seva Vastu and Seva Vritti. The word Seva Vritti means the attitude of serving someone. The mood to serve someone. Baladev is the personification of that attitude of serving Krishna. And Vastu means substance. He makes the literal ground of Vrindavan, the trees of Vrindavan, Govardhan, the body of Krishna, Krishna's mother, all manifested by Baladev. He actually takes the form of all of these things in order to serve Krishna and to manifest the happiness that Radhika gives him. He manifests the substance of all of these things so it has expression. I'm giving you another example. Any wife says, I want to show my love for my husband, I'm going to cook this amazing meal. The emotion is already there, right? In her expression, I want to cook this amazing meal to show my love. But what happens to show that physically? Grains, sabji, stuff that's bought from the store, the actual cooking, all of these things. These are the manifestations in substance of what she was feeling in her heart. Baladev is that to the trinity of Radhika giving pleasure to Krishna, Krishna being the recipient of that pleasure, and Baladev becomes the articles and substance of making that happen. So because Baladev has this mood of being the complete manifestation of the attitude and substance to serve Krishna, then Baladev's body is not of his own desire. It's completely a manifestation of the fulfillment of Krishna's desire. This is another meaning to the word Vaibhav Prakash. Krishna is actually enjoying in the body of Lord Balaram. Now, very interesting thing. Srila Gurudev once told that for this reason, in all the incarnations, there's some feature of Baladev Tattva there. Now, in particularly in Lord Ram's pastimes, Baladev appears as whom? But what happens in his desire to express his service mood and become everything for Lord Ram? What happens? Because he appears as the younger brother, according to the Leela, he is somewhat checked in doing that. Therefore, what reason did he say, I don't want to be the younger brother? Simply because he didn't want to take orders anymore? He didn't want to be put in awkward situations anymore? No. Why did he say it? Because coming as the elder brother gives him the facility to fully then do what it is he does, which is have the power to give Krishna pleasure, even beyond Krishna's ability to comprehend what is pleasurable. You understand? What does it mean, beyond Krishna's ability to comprehend what is pleasurable? One meaning to the word Seish. Seish is an expansion of Baladev. What is one meaning to the word Seisha? I never understood this, huh?
Unlimited?
That's Ananta. Seish means?
The extreme limit.
The extreme limit and remainder. Whatever Krishna wants, and then the next step, Baladev can handle it. Whatever Krishna can desire to have, and then the next step after that, he's capable of handling it. So this is Baladev Tattva. Today is the day that the fullness of the meaning of Balaram became fruitful. Why? Krishna, throughout his entire life in Braj, experienced the highest kind of happiness, highest type of bliss. In his young age, his childhood, he experienced that happiness in the association of his mother and father. The kind of love and reciprocation that came from his mother and father is unimaginable. So he tasted all the sweetness of what is called Vatsalya Ras and Vatsalya Prem, parental love and affection. As he grew older, he began to play with his friends. And among playing with his friends, he experienced every possible kind of happiness in perfected friendship. It is called Sakya Ras. As he became older, he experienced the perfection of young age. It's called Kaishore, by having so many pastimes with the gopis of Vrindavan, and among all the gopis of Vrindavan, having his pastimes with the chief of all of those gopis, Srimati Radharani herself. So in this way, Krishna's happiness knew no bounds. But on a given day, Akrura came from Mathura at the behest of Kamsa. And he came and he told to Krishna and Balaram and to Nanda and Yashoda, Krishna will have to now come to Mathura in order to save Vasudeva and Devaki, to stop the atrocities of Kamsa. After he said like this, in Gopal Champu, Krishna actually interviews Narada Muni. Narada Muni is like one great saint, and Narada Muni knows everything, past, present, and future. He is the original Call Miss Cleo. I don't know if anybody remembers the Call Miss Cleo commercials, but he is the original form of Call Miss Cleo. He knows everything, past, present, and future. So Krishna, in interviewing, he asked, look, this Akrura has come. I will have to leave my Vrindavan down. What will happen? How long will I have to stay outside of Vrindavan? So then he goes to a number of pastimes. First I will kill Kamsa. Will I come back then? And Narada Muni tells, no, unfortunately you cannot come back then. Oh, after I kill this demon, after I establish again Ugrasen on the throne, he goes through everything. And Narada Muni tells him, no. So at this time Krishna realizes, how long will it be before I come back to Vrindavan? And he becomes very, very sad. So when Akrura is there in Braj and he's explaining to Krishna he has to come, Krishna does not want to go. So Akrura goes to Baladev and he appeals to Baladev. And now because Krishna is kind of always subordinate to Baladev in terms of listening to what he says, once Baladev becomes convinced, he then convinces Krishna. How can we leave Vasudeva and Devaki to suffer? All the residents of Mathura, also your devotees, how you can leave them to suffer? On the basis of Baladev's influence from Akrura, then he tells Krishna, and they have to leave. But there's a deeper secret to this. Krishna also begins to reflect. Actually, maybe it's not so bad. Why? Because I noticed that whenever I would have pastimes with the gopis, especially my Srimati Radhika, sometimes Radhika being in my presence, she would experience so much deep pain as though I wasn't there. So all of those who are some new, please bear with me and forgive me. This is a little more involved things in Krishna consciousness. So Radhika has one mood that is called Prem Vaichitya. Prem Vaichitya means even though she is with someone, she feels like she's not with them. So on many occasions, not only at Prem Sarovar, this is one pastime told, but even during the Rasa dance when Krishna disappeared and Radhika caught up to him. And many other times, Krishna stood and witnessed how Radhika, being with him, can experience the mood of separation. And in her separation, what kind of experiences she has. Krishna came to realize something. That whenever I leave to go to the forest for cow grazing, the experience of my separation by the gopis is so intense that for them it's like ages have passed. At the same time, when we come together to meet, even if we're together for quite some time, it seems like only a second has passed. Somehow or another, in their separation, they experience me much more deeply than even when we are present. At this time, Krishna decided, perhaps it is better that I actually do leave Vrindavan. And in leaving Vrindavan, the gopis, especially Srimati Radhika, she will have even more of a chance to experience my meeting. Because when Krishna is separated from Radhika, there is one feeling which is called Vipralamba Vispurti. It means Krishna comes to Radhika in a vision and has relation. But the problem is, when that vision is finished, Radhika's separation mood and pain doubles. But when Krishna leaves and he's gone for a longer time, Radhika has another mood which is called Vipralambra Vikrita Pradurbhav. It's explained in Ujjali Namani. She comes to a point of sort of resignation. He's gone, that's it. I may not see him anymore, boss. In that mood, she still has sporties of Krishna, but in those sporties, it's like she sports with Krishna freely. Do you understand? Let me explain. If a loved one goes off to work every day, you may miss them. But if they get assigned to a foreign place, like a war or something, you have no idea whether they come back. Once they're gone, in your heart there's a resignation that takes place. I'm praying they come back, but they may or may not. And you settle, you actually come to grips with it. Oh, they may not ever come back. So now, your remembrances of that person are less affected by the idea they're only gone to work and they'll be back in a couple of hours. You understand? As opposed to, I may never see them again. And so you take more shelter of your daydreams and remembrances of that person than you do if they were just gone to work. So imagine in the spiritual reality how that works. So when Krishna is gone, this is called Pradurvas, when he's gone to a long distance for a long time with no question of whether he's coming back or not, then the gopis fully take shelter, especially Radhika, of that mood. Therefore, when they have a spurti of Krishna, they are completely absorbed in it, and it's much more fulfilling. You understand? Because they've given up the hope he may come. You understand? Though Krishna, when he left, what did he say? I'll be back. You understand? When? What did he say? He didn't just say, I'll be back. He said what?
Day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow. You understand? Was it true? Potentially yes, because what was Krishna's program? I'll go. I was invited to this wrestling match. There was no question on the invitation that said I'm going to be here for a week or more. I'm going to a wrestling match, have the wrestling match. Then Mathura's not so far. I'll come back the next day. I have to kill Kamsa. That also won't take very long. Right? So I'll kill Kamsa. Right? Reinstall proper persons on the throne and then come back. No harm. Krishna didn't have to worry about being installed on the throne. Why? The earlier curse that was given to Puru by Yayati. In that dynasty, there could be no kings. Therefore, he could install Ugrasen freely. I can't be a king. It's not in our dynasty. That you know this curse that came in our family. I can't be a king. This is why he took shelter of that dynasty. So he thought, yes, I'll kill Kamsa, put Ugrasen on the throne, I'll be back in no time. But what happened? After killing Kamsa, word got back to Jarasan. Oh, your daughters are widows now, Ashti and Prapti. Krishna killed their husband, now they're completely shattered. So now the enemy becomes Jarasan. Does Jarasan have friends? He's the only person that Kamsa could not bring under control. If you read Garga Samhita, Kamsa used to go around to all different camps of demons, and he would beat them up, and then they become submissive.
But also Putin, that he worked something out with every
yes,
also
very powerful. Same thing. He couldn't do that with Putana. And he allowed her brothers to come, because who's her brothers? Bakasura and someone else, maybe? 2 brothers of Putin also. They came also with her. He made an alliance. And Jarasan. Jarasan also very powerful. Therefore, he made an alliance with him by marrying his daughter's Asti and Prapti. Now, Jarasan is his enemy and many demons are there. So now Krishna cannot return. Next thing you know, he gets a message from one Brahmin as a young girl who's been dreaming about you. She heard about you from Narada Muni and wants to marry you. Krishna, I'm not planning on getting married to anybody. No. This young girl is threatened to commit suicide. The message gets back to Vrindavan. One young girl wants to marry Krishna, and she's threatening she'll commit suicide. All the Brijabasis get together, they send a message back. If this girl commits suicide because she wants to marry Krishna, so much infamy will come to him. So we offer our blessings for this marriage. Who was that girl? Rukmini.
Where is that story from?
Gopal Champu. They therefore offered their blessings. We don't want any infamy to come to him. So they gave him, for this reason, he married Rukmini. He had no plan to marry Rukmini. Understand? Then, like this, later on, time went on and time went on. Now, if Krishna is simply going cow grazing, Tripta Yugayate is mentioned in Geet Govinda, in Gopi Geet. If Krishna will go to the forest just to graze cows, Tripta Yugayate, it seems like ages. How long now has it seemed that Krishna has been gone? But what happens? Now Radharani takes shelter of the mood of resignation. No, he may not ever come back. So now what darshans and spurti she has, she fully takes shelter of them. She doesn't think, I'll see him tomorrow when he leaves to go cow grazing. This is called Vipralamba Vikrita Pradurbhavs, plain in Ujjali money. She fully takes shelter of that mood. So now, this is why Krishna said, why do you think I'm gone? When they did meet, he said, why do you think I'm gone? I come to see you every day. But now what happens? Seeing Krishna in person, they doubt these experiences. You understand? Love is an amazing thing. Now I'm seeing you in person, now you're telling me this nonsense. You come every day. Because now I'm seeing you in person. When he's gone, they take full shelter of that. You understand? For this reason, Krishna stayed out of Vrindavan a very long time. But he thought, I want to get. He suffered. Actually, it's explained that it was almost like prison for him. First he's in there Mathura, and then after killing Kamsa, then Vasudeva and Devaki send him to Ujjain, to the ashram of Sandipani Muni. So now even further. And now after that, did he want it one? Can give to Krishna? Just give to Vasanti, somebody give to Shyam Vasanti. So now, even further away, then what happens? Then Mathura is being attacked so much now by so many different demons that now a fear arises. The word gets back by messengers to Vrindavan that, the demons, they're attacking to Mathura so much. So now what happens? All of the Brijabasis get together and they hold a big yagya. And in that yagya, they're praying for Krishna's protection. So as they throw the grains, they say, may Krishna be protected on all sides by a great ocean. Swaha, may a fortress wall rise out of the sea, so high that nobody can touch him. Swaha, may it be so far away from the demons like Jarasandha and others, that Krishna will never be harmed. Swaha, so then what happens? Krishna being moved by this feeling of the Brijabasis, it comes in his heart. And that night Krishna lays down in bed, and all the prayers of the Brijabasis are twirling in his heart. Automatically, Yogamaya comes, and simply out of the desire of Krishna, what happens? He manifests what? Dwarka. Therefore, what is the meaning of Dwarka?
Where's the door?
Dwarakaha. Where is the door? Because all Mathuravasis went to sleep one night, and they woke up the next day, and they were in this new place, surrounded by the ocean. You understand? So at that time, Vrijabasis and their love are controlling everything. But Krishna is unable to reciprocate. So even when Krishna goes to Dwarka, now his pain has doubled. Because now, where I was in Mathura, I could go on my roof and I could look across and see Vrindavan. Now in Dwarka, the pain is doubled. Then Krishna remembering, even when I was in Vrindavan, I one time wanted to give some consolation to the Brijabasis and to Shrimati Radhika. So, Gachav Urva Somyam, Pitaro Prityavaha, I called my very dear friend Urva, Vishninam Paravo Mantri. Urva was like the most dear confidant of Krishna. He could tell Urva anything. So he called Urva, oh Urva, please, with your gentle self, please go to Vrindavan. Pitaro Prityavaha. And you, please, Pitaro means like our. So he's saying our parents. Show them love and affection. Pitaro Prityavaha. Please show them your priti and console them. Then he told them also, Mat Gopi Viyogadim, Mat Sandashara Vimochaya. And to my gopis there, I want you to give them my sandesh, my message. The reason he told Uddhava not to try to console them, but simply to give his message is why? Because Krishna's own words, if the gopis will hear, this is Krishna's words, they don't distinguish between Krishna arm, leg, word, face. You understand? It wasn't the message itself. It was that Krishna said, these are my words. So Uddhava was to simply give his message. Then gopis could say, this message, Krishna, non-different. It didn't work, but it was a good try. It definitely was a good try. I mean, who could have thought of that? You understand? So definitely a good try. You understand? But that try also failed. Why? Because even if you read Uddhav Sandesh, a very amazing thing. Before Uddhava went, there's a whole book describing how Krishna prepared him to go. Krishna even gave Uddhava a set of his own clothes so his bodily fragrance would be there. He told him which route to take, how to stand on the chariot, what time to arrive, how when you get there, when the dust comes down from the chariot, how to stand so that the dust, when it settles, it can gradually reveal your form little by little. Why? Because Uddhava looks so much like Krishna. It's Krishna's cousin. Understand? He told everything. He took so long that in Uddhava Sandesh is mentioned one time, Uddhava said, I shall go or not go. Understand? Krishna was taking so long giving him how to go, and crying at the same time. I should go or not go. Every time Uddhava would begin to take off, he'd run, and do this, and do that. And then Krishna made a special arrangement that when Uddhava got there, he saw the beauty of Vrindavan as it is when Krishna is present. And then immediately after that, he saw how it is when Krishna is absent. So he'd have some perspective and some deeper emotional content to use in trying to comfort Nanda Maharaj and others, and also in giving the message to gopis. But long story short, it did not work. But Uddhava got something. He became very amazed to see the height of the love of Brijabasis, especially gopis. So he was able to come back and share that with Krishna. After so many more years, the Brijabasis still suffering in deep separation. Baladev came and told, you've promised I'll return day after tomorrow. You promised many times I will go, but you're not going. How you can stand to see them suffering? You yourself are also suffering. You don't think that we know and hear how you cry every night? How actually when Rukmini and the other queens go to bed in their palaces, they wake up thinking they're doing snan in the Gomati river, one river in Dwarka. You think that we don't hear these things? You don't think that we see tear streaks on your face when you come to the Shabbat in the morning? To sit among everybody, you don't think we see how you've been crying? All these things we know, how you're suffering, but still you will not go. Sometimes love causes this kind of madness. But I will go. I will go and I will console them. Now, formerly as Lakshman, he would have needed permission. But now as Baladev, does he need any permission? Not at all. So when Baladev goes to Vrindavan, now he actually gives comfort to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. Cowherd boys are also comforted. Although Rupa Goswami has mentioned, cowherd boys are easily comforted. That's why you can measure love by the degree of separation that's involved, not by the degree of just the rasa itself. Cowherd boys, simply by seeing things that remind them of Krishna, their separation can be somewhat pacified. For Mother Yashoda Maharaj Nanda, much more difficult. For the gopis, impossible. For Radhika, never. Therefore, Baladev himself came there. And it was on this night that Baladev came and fulfilling 3 orders of Krishna. 1, he already pacified Nanda and Yashoda. 2, not orders of Krishna, but desires that were in Krishna's heart that Baladev knew because he's non-different from Krishna. 2, that Krishna knew that when they had holy festival, that there were many young girls at that time who had attraction to Baladev. And Krishna also wanted that Baladev should also enjoy these gopis. How? Because Baladev is enjoying these gopis is satisfying to Krishna. For this reason Baladev is doing. Also, Jiva Goswami explains at the time of Ras, there were many girls who were too young to join the Ras at that time. They had desire, but too young to join. So now, and they're older, but now, also give Ras to these gopis. So at Ramghat, Baladev happily danced with these gopis. But did he dance with Krishna's gopis at all?
No.
Some acharyas say like that. Krishna Chakravati Thakur Pada actually says,
Gurudev too.
Huh?
Gurudev also.
Yeah. Said no, he didn't. For the general masses of people, it says he did not dance actually with Krishna's gopis. Why? Think, how difficult is it to digest Parakiya Bhav, period? The original deities of Krishna that were worshipped in Vrindavan, there was no Radharani deity. That was not a unique thing to Radharaman. It was only later that the son of Maharaj Prataparuja, Purushottam Jan, sent deities of Radhika to Vrindavan. Originally not. And the proof of that is that in Jaipur, the Ramanadis, part of the Sri Sampradaya, they rejected the idea of, no, you can't do this in here. Radhika, there's no place where they're married in Sastri. So then, they sent for Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the king, he sent Baladev Vijabhushan Prabhu in order to squash this whole thing. Because according to the social norms at that time, how can the worshipable object of everything be something that's illicit in normal society? Sita Ram, yes. Lakshmi Narayan, okay. But Radha and Krishna, no history of marriage, anything. Of course, Gurudev painstakingly showed how Jiva Goswami, though they say he deferred to Swakiyavad, proved the marriage of Radha and Krishna in so many ways, forms, and fashions. But that aside, still, here, it was very difficult. That too, how we will digest this whole idea of Parakiya Ras. So for Baladev to have been dancing with Krishna's gopis, oh, doubly crazy. First of all, you say that Krishna is dancing with other people's wives, then he sent his big brother to do the same thing with the same girls he danced with. So socially, not gonna fly. But what is the secret of Baladev and Krishna? We talked at the very beginning of the speech about Baladev.
Vaibhav Prakash.
Vaibhav Prakash. Baladev is dancing with these gopis of his own accord.
No.
He completely manifested Shyamsundar Krishna to Krishna's gopis. He had no separate desire. He is the revelatory power of Krishna. You understand? He is the revelation of Krishna. Therefore, he simply utilized that, and for those 2 months, the gopis every night they experience being with Krishna himself. Is correct?
I heard a lecture from Gurudev who said that when Balaram was dancing with the gopis, he did not have one iota of desire for enjoyment for his own self because he's what do they call it? Vishaya. Ashraya.
Exactly. This is another secret about the avadut nature of Nityananda Prabhu that many people don't know. It's written in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told himself to one Brahmin. He said, "Oh Brahmin, never doubt that myself and Nityananda Prabhu are the same. You should know that I, in fact, am enjoying in the body of Nityananda Prabhu." So the Vishaya mood, the enjoyer mood of the Lord, is on storage deposit with Nityananda in Gaur Leela so that he can absorb himself in the mood of Radhika, the Ashray.
Are you going to talk about how Balaram became black? story?
Yeah. Well, you can tell.
Well, you can.
It's described that, of course, the gopis, part of their mood of separation is so deep, they begin to sing songs about their pastimes with Krishna and in their remembrances of Krishna. In that association, Baladev became so affected that also the Sham color of Krishna itself came into Baladev. So absorbed in the mood of separation. And to those gopis it proved another thing. What is the power of their separation to make meeting happen? Anything else about that?
Well, Gurudev called on Prem Priyojana Prabhu many years ago, and Prem Priyojana said this next part that I'm going to say, and all these things that you said, and this also next part, Gurudev said...
Wait, oh man. Yeah. I forgot. Just hold on a second on the phone. Shamarani Didi's going to tell them something.
So many years ago, Gurudev was calling on different people to talk about this Leela. And he wasn't so happy with me, but then he called on Prem Priyojana Prabhu, who mentioned these other things that you mentioned, how for general people, there were gopis who were attracted to Balaram, and some gopis were too young at the time of Krishna. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur confirmed that that's for general people, but actually he danced with Krishna's gopis, as you said. So then the gopis were feeling so much separation increased that seeing their separation, Balaram also turned Shamkala, as you said. And then he took the gopis to different kunjas, and he called Krishna, and then Krishna personally came and enjoyed with each gopi, because Guru can call Krishna for his beloved who are feeling his separation. Do you want to add anything to that? And then Gurudev said, yes, this is what I wanted.
Shamarani Didi mentioned that also part of that, if you didn't hear on the phone, was that part of Baladev's dancing with all the gopis, that he also brought Krishna there directly, and each of the gopis experienced Krishna's personally being there. And that Gurudev was very happy to hear that actually this is how Guru Tattva is. Guru Tattva can actually bring Krishna there and manifest it to, like Baladev did to the gopis, even to a disciple. So this is very, very important Tattva. Today also, last thing is there anything else? Baladev Ras Yatra we missed?
Baladev Ras Yatra
Ki Jai. And what does Ras Yatra mean?
What?
Yatra means an endeavor, a trip, a journey. Rasa means the power to give ras. So Baladev took from Dwarka all of the moods of Krishna as he would have in Braj that they were missing. He carried that in his heart like a container. And he carried all of those things in Yatra on a journey to Vrindavan. That's why I call it Baladev Ras Yatra.
So it's not Rasa Yatra, it's Rasa Yatra.
Ras Yatra.
So his
One
Rasa
meaning.
Leela, it's Rasa Leela, but Rasa Yatra.
It's Ras Yatra. He does Ras Leela as part of his Ras Yatra. And today is also Vasanti Ras Leela. So there are two Rasa Leelas which are prominent. One,
Ras.
Ras with a long A in Sanskrit.
Can you say the difference between
Yes.
Rasa and Rasa?
Rasa with a short A in Sanskrit means the ingredients of taste. Right? It's called rasa. So I'm not going the whole, what is ras, how it's composed of. One verse is there, Vyatati, Bhavana, Bhartma, etc., etc. But ras is the ingredient that's tasted. When a person's actually tasting it, it is called ras with a long A. Right? Like,
Just Gurudev said it's Rasa Samuha. Many, like an ocean of different rasas are there in Rasa.
Yes. Like, if you get a plate of food, it's composed of so many different types of ras. Right? Cumin powder, this thing, sugar, salt, blah. So many different kinds of taste and rasa there. When you're eating it, what you're doing, when you're chewing it and going, it's called ras. Because ras means aswadan. Aswadan means to taste. So it's called ras lila because it means aswad. It means a lila where all the ingredients of rasa are tasted. So in the Ras Lila, there's two that are primary. One is called Saradiya Ras Lila, and the other is called Vasanti Ras Lila. The Saradiya Ras Lila is told in Srimad Bhagavatam. Why is that Ras Lila told in Srimad Bhagavatam? It's an important point.
The Santi one?
No. Saradiya Ras Lila is told in Srimad Bhagavatam. Why?
Is it because it would be the prelude to the coming of Radhika being established as the topmost personality in Krishna's heart?
Both.
Later on?
Both.
In the Ramananda Samvad?
But what is unique about Saradiya Ras Lila that doesn't happen necessarily in Vasanti Ras Lila?
It's all the different groups of gopis.
All different groups of gopis, and who else?
Well, the Sadakas.
Sadakas, sadhana siddhis. So Bhagavatam is giving teaching to everyone how to obtain this. So if Bhagavatam talked all the way up to the point of how to attain it, but then you couldn't go, that would be kind of cheating. So Bhagavatam starts out speaking about that Rasa Lila which you can attend. You will not be attending Vasanti Rasa Lila. Don't become offended. You will first be attending Saradiya Rasa Lila. Why? Because it is the Rasa Lila where all of these sadhana siddhas are also coming. Understand? So everyone comes to that Rasa Lila. So that's the one that's mentioned there.
Why can't we go to the other one?
Oh,
After you become perfect.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
Okay.
Because the ingredients, I'm trying to avoid getting like...
Too complicated.
Too complicated? Yeah. But long story short, for those who get complication, in Saradiya Ras Lila, the infoment of prem up to Anurag and then going further is developed. In Vasanti Ras Lila, already Anurag is there and people are going from the platform of Anurag. So when you come to Saradiya Ras Lila, you may have prem. But your prem will then become Sneha, Man, Rag, up to Anurag in Saradiya Ras Lila. Right? This whole Krishna is disappearing everything, this is that development of prem. Right? Like it's mentioned there. Tasam tat subhagyam haraviksham. This verse, this is their first time experiencing both pranay and man. Pranay means, let's skip over that. Let's get to it. Let's go to a different thing. But you know what I'm saying? Understand? That this is the first time sadhanas, siddhas, are experiencing in their unfoldment of prem, now pranay, and then man. Because when they consider themselves the most fortunate girls in the world, it's explained in the next verse, I can't remember the shloka, but they were manina, means they had developed man, because man can come with a cause or without. This time the cause of their man was their extreme good fortune of having been embraced by Krishna and thinking, Krishna is dancing with me alone.
I thought that only Radharani had man, but they had Saubhagyamat.
No, but their Saubhagyamat produced the crumb called man in their praying. Radhika had what is called man with Irsha. Because Radhika's man is already the man of a developing sadhak and the man of Radhika are not the same thing.
But if we're going to be manjaris, we're not there. We wouldn't be the ones that were thinking that Krishna...
No. This is, in sadhana siddhas, they dance because their prem is developing.
This doesn't...
Not including manjaris. Not doing anything with manjaris.
Like the Dandakaranya.
Yes. This is just the development of those in Madhurya Ras in general. Right? Yeah. So, but manjaris, in our case, by observing this, the crumb of our own prem also unfolds through this Ras Lila. You understand? Though not dancing Ras Lila, but the service to that Ras Lila, our progression from prem, sneha, man, also develops. It's not that when anybody aspiring for manjari bhav, when they hit the spiritual, they hit anurag. I don't do all that other stuff. They'll also go through prem, sneha, man. How? By their seva to that Rasa Lila and Sardiya, their prem will also go through those stages. So who's dancing that Rasa Lila? Because this is a big point, this is another subtle sidetrack. But there's some who think you can have aspiration to be a Priyasaki. Is it possible for a jiva to be a Priyasaki? Not possible. What is the proof of this? Rupa Goswami and Ujjwal Leelamani describe who becomes Priyasakis. Those expansions of the Nityasita gopis who appear in the heavenly planets as partial manifestations to serve Krishna when he appears in the heavenly planets, when they come into this Leela, they become Priyasakis. So you cannot do a sadhana or anugatya to somebody to become a Priyasaki. The height of Madhurya Ras for any person coming from this side is what? Yeah, Nityasakis. Pransakis mean Manjaris, Ruprati, etc. And Nityasakis are their followers. Like this. But this Rasa Leela, back to the original point, these gopis dancing, their praying develops up to the stage of Anurag. But one thing happens here. In that verse, Tasam Tat Subhagyamana Viksham Prasadaya Prasamaya Antradiyata. Antradiyata means Krishna, when he saw that Radhika in her mind, looking at Krishna dancing with all these gopis, how did that happen? Each gopi, by Krishna's influence, thought that Krishna is dancing with me alone. How is Radhika knowing that Krishna is dancing with everyone? Rupa Goswami gave an amazing explanation of this thing. How? Radhika's mood sees Krishna in every prakosh simultaneously all the time. Her absorption in Krishna is so complete, she sees everything all the time. So she was able to observe that Krishna was dancing with each of these gopis. This inspired what is called irsha or jealousy in her. When she became like this, she left the rasa dance. Once she leaves the rasa dance falls apart. But here it says Krishna did, antradiyata means in Sanskrit, to disappear. In other words, in a very sneaky way, he kind of disappeared. Now, another meaning to the word antradiyata means to more deeply enter into the hearts of those gopis, where they could not see him, they could not access him. The next time they'll be able to access Krishna is when they find anugatya or they begin to follow Srimati Radhika. You understand? So antradiyata also has this meaning. Antradiyata, to more deeply into the heart. So, Krishna simply disappeared. So Mahaprabhu in Ramananda Samvad, when Ramananda Roy was trying to establish the superiority of Radhika over everyone else, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, but wait a minute. If Radhika is superior to everyone else, then why did Krishna sneak away? Was he afraid of offending all of the other gopis? And so Ramananda Roy said, oh, you have not yet been able to grasp the pebble. And then Ramananda Roy told to Mahaprabhu very lovingly, he said, Kamsari api samsara vasana bhara shinkala radha adaya riddhaye tat tajjav raja sundari. This is a verse from Geet Govind of Jayadev Goswami. In the Vasanti Ras Leela, which is the cream of the crop, all Sadhana Siddha gopis, all completely perfected gopis are there. Only in that association of all the perfected gopis, when Srimati Radhika leaves the rasa dance, then Krishna, Tat Tajya Vraja Sundari, all those Vraja Sundaris, very beautiful, qualified. Tat Tajya, he simply gave them up and walked away. Didn't he?
So you said they're all the perfected gopis. Aren't they just the perfected gopis of Radharani's group?
No.
They're all four, you said?
All four pakshas are there in Vasanti Ras Leela. Yes?
Which are those that, just quickly also, not to take you off track, which are those that only dance at Radhakund?
Swapaksh at Radhakund. But where does first Vasanti Ras Leela take place? Govardhan, Chandra Sarovar.
Yeah.
So, also, to understand, all pakshas are there. It says all Nitya Siddha Gopis is what I've read. It could be different. I've read Nitya Siddha Gopis. But at Radhakund, especially Madhyanak Leela, everything, only Swapaksh of Radhika. Because one question would be, what Irsha could develop in the Swapaksh? No Irsha can develop in the Swapaksh. They're all Radhika's friends. See? So it has to be that her competitors are there. Now, Radhika never displays direct Irsha even to Chandravali. Her Irsha is indirect. Her Irsha is actually...
Can you say what Irsha is?
Yeah. It means like a jealousy, a mood of jealousy. She's not directly jealous of Chandravali. The jealousy is the atmosphere created by the followers. This is what Rupa Goswami mentions in Rujan Leela. They create an atmosphere in which these moods manifest. But she's not directly jealous. Oh, that Chandravali, she's back here again. She never says things like that. She will say to Krishna when she's angry and they're in any kind of love quarrel, and Krishna does something wrong, like Gotra Skalana, means he accidentally says some name of Chandravali while talking to Radhika. Then she'll chastise Krishna. But she never maintains the other woman kind of thing. But the followers do. And that creates the atmosphere that nourishes Radhika's irsha, her jealousy. So for that to have happened, and Krishna to give them all up, it would seem like means Nitya Siddha Gopis, meaning all Pakshas. Because Radhika's own party, Radhika not only, she has no irsha towards them, but she in fact, in the pinnacle of their Leela, will actually show Audorya and ask Krishna to go to each one of them. She will never ask, oh Krishna, be so merciful, also go to Chandravali. To her own Swapak she will do. So it's described that all of the Astasaki Kunjas which are around Radha Kund, Krishna will go to visit each one of them, Govinda Lilamrita, Krishna Bhavanamrita, each one, you can go to visit them. So she does not develop this irsha towards them. Some Leelas have this, where apparently she has this irsha towards, like once with Lalita Saki. Yeah, you know this last time. So it will seem like that. But it is not a general consistent thing. So my understanding, we could reread, is that Nitya Siddha meant all Paksha. Paksha means groups. They're different groups. Like you have your girlfriend, you guys are friends?
That's adorable.
Very
oh my
friends.
gosh!
Extremely close friends.
Whoa!
Extremely close friends.
Oh, okay. I mean, wow. Okay. Huh?
Did his niece.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so young. Oh, yeah.
She grew up too fast.
Oh, you're like, well, you look so young also. So, but that aside, you have friends then, I'm sure. Right? So you have your group of friends. There are other girls whom you know. You're not enemies, but you're not close friends either, correct? Mm-hmm. Then there's those girls, right? Those other girls, right? So it's just a natural thing, natural phenomenon. So, same thing in the spiritual world. Radhika has her friends, near and dear. Then she has a group of girls who are friendly to her. And then she has a group of girls who, they're not enemies or anything, but they're just, hi Radhika, how are you? How's your girlfriends? They're neutral. Then you have those who, yeah, I see him? Here's Lalita. She's the one that's always running off at the mouth about Radhika with this. Is it? That's what it's called? Vipaksha. One like rival group. But Radhika and Chandravali both are so high class, they never say like that. They're both so sweet, so high class. They never will speak about each other like this. And if Radhika goes into deep distress when Krishna leaves, even Chandravali and her party will come near and serve Radhika. Because at that time, whose love is actually superior is seen. When Krishna leaves, like in Hang Sadut and other books, even Chandravali and her party will come. What to speak Chandravali party? Even Radhika's so-called husband Abhimanyu, Jatila, Kutila, all will come to serve Radhika. Because she displays one mood called Mritti. Mritti means like death. That's how superior her love is. So, this Vasanti Ras Leela was to prove the supremacy of Radhika's love. So, Ramananda Roy explained, yes, Tat Tatja Vraja Sundari. Even in front of all these beautiful Vraj Sundaris, Tat Tatja, he didn't disappear. He simply walked away calling Radhe, 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 Radhe. Yeah? Therefore, Ramananda Roy didn't explain to him. Therefore, this Rasa Leela is a supreme Leela because it's the demonstration of this kind of prema of Radhika. So he said, Samyak Saravasana Krishna Rasa Leela. Rasa Leela, Radhika Shrinkala. That Radhika Shrinkala means like a thread. When you're making jewelry and you want bead work, you put all your beads on the thread and tie them together. If that string breaks, like people have experienced with their neck beads, what happens? Especially if these little Tulsi beads, right? Oh my gosh. Trying to catch all these little beads. Same thing. Right? Radhika is the Shrinkala, or the string that holds the entire Rasa Leela together. When she disappears, all of the beautiful jewels of the necklace of Rasa Leela simply disperse everywhere. This is Ramananda Roy's assessment to Mahaprabhu. This is the difference between Vasanti Rasa Leela and Saradiya Rasa Leela. I definitely ran over. I spoke so much about Shamananda. Many things trying to speak within my Harikatha here.
It's so beautiful.
That's good. Anything else, Didi? Anybody else? Anything? Forgot.
Santi Ras ki jai.
Santi Ras ki jai, Shri Shamananda Prabhu ki jai, Bamsi Gadan Thakur ki jai, Baladev Ras Yatra ki jai. Haribo jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yadvaita Murdha Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Forgive me if I forgot anything, and so many things. Gurudev told so much Katha and all these things.
So Umadidi will be arriving Wednesday. Also, Vishnu Maharaj, did you get this message? Yeah. Okay. It's just it's not going to come some schedule problems.
Oh, really?
Rescheduling here. Yeah.
Oh, we had somebody here, or he had a problem?
Well, we're going to have
we're doing Gaudiya girls.
We have the Gaudiya girls.
While they're doing Gaudiya girls, they want to try to engage the whole community, not just girls. So because it's a large community, unlike LA, a little different, want to engage the whole community in preaching book distribution as much as possible. And then Didi's doing a structured class program morning and evening before they go out and then after and stuff like that. So he was coming the same exact time.
We kind of already.
Gaudiya girls will be here for how long?
Gaudiya girls is like 8 days. And
They're only going to be 8 days? I thought they were here for like a month.
No, it's like 8-10 days. And Marge is only going to be in Florida for 8 days. So he was going to do 4 days Miami, 4 days Alachua, and now he's just going to do the whole week in Miami.
Yeah, it's always good to have like somebody inside like that. 1 day, 2 days. They would benefit by it as well.
I know.
So you got a place to stay, you got everything set up, so we're crunch for that.
Well, yeah, I don't think Maharaj has been, like Lakshmipati knows about it, I don't think that Maharaj was like under the impression he was definitely coming and then feels like the withdrawal was there. It's just communication with Lakshmipati.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Maharaj is going to be offended. I also,
no, I don't think that. I'm talking about just the benefit